Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. This is a new episode under the same topic, Do We Teach Effectively? Today's topic is about involving parents in your classroom. A lot of us are not aware of how much benefit we can use from involving parents in students' lives. First of all, before I talk about what they can do in classroom, we need to establish strong relationship between us as teachers and the parents of the students. And now remember that in the past, usually our parents would never ever go to school. In some places, they still do the same thing. And there would be no communication at all. Sometimes the parent wants to say something to the teacher, but he doesn't or she doesn't come to the school, and there is no way of communication. Now, alhamdulillah, with the advancement of technology, just by a phone call or SMS, we can do wonders. And also through the websites, we can do a lot of communication. We need to keep the relationship active and vibrant all the time. One thing of doing it, of course, when we get good information about the student, when we know something about his father, his mother, and this begins from the application form that is taken by the student or is filled by the family of the student in the first few days. Because if we design the information very good, this information would help us to know. Just by reading it, I would know this family consists of how many people and they live in a house or live in an apartment or something like that. It gives me some idea about the student. So when I communicate with the parent, it becomes very active. Back in history, the only thing that would see the teachers communicating with parents is if they want to complain about the child. So the first call would be a complaint. And this does not make the relationship between you as a teacher and you as a parent strong. Even the student does not like you because you are complaining. In other words, you want the father or the mother to treat with him in a bad way. And I think it would be very good if the first meeting would be either a call from you to the parent or when the school itself makes an open house. The concept of an open house or open day, right? When the parents come to school, and you can make it many days, by the way, if you have crowded school, you can make it an open house. And for example, today, you make it open house for students of primary, for example. Usually it happens in a weekend to give the parents opportunity to come to school. And this is where you can share, you can talk to the parent about her or his child. So this is the first contact that happens between you and the parent. After that, it would be good if the child is available. That would be wonderful. Sometimes the child is not available. Sometimes if it is not in the beginning of the year and the child had done something and there are some records, so when the parent would come, right, the teacher would show how the child has done. And she can show the parent that, okay, he has done good here, he has done good here. I think your child needs some help in this area, and he cannot do it by himself. If you can do that, if you can help him, or the father can help him, or there's another child in the house can help him, that would be good. So starting identifying the strengths and the weaknesses for the parents, whom they would never imagine what you're talking about. Don't think that they would have the same understanding that you have when you talk to them about differentiation. Don't use differentiation, by the way. There are individual differences. He learns by vision, and he doesn't learn by, for example, writing. So you tell the parents something about this. So now they have more information about their children. So when you get into the next stage of communication, you would have something to talk about, okay? Secondly, we want as much as possible to encourage the communication to be a two-way communication. Even if the school itself, school administration is making communication with the parents, this is something different from your communication with the parents, right? I wish that you sent a report regularly to the parents. That's what parents expect. And these reports Unfortunately, most of the time, when they are sent to the parent, they don't have adequate information. The reason is they say that he got in math 27 out of 30, he got in other subject 15 out of 20. You see what I'm saying? Just great. The father cannot know, right? Where is his child progressing or where he is right now? Because the just grades, it need to be interpreted. I want you to understand this. You can say that your child now, his order in the school or in my class in mathematics is number 3 from the top, or in the middle, or there's something I would know where my child is in the class. If you send me just the grades, these grades don't tell me much, as we explained before. So this is something. And more importantly, the few lines that you write here. Your student, your son is improving in math, but he does not improve in Arabic. These 2 lines are very important. You need to write something. And I wish to communicate with you to talk more about this. Please write to me when is a good time for you. Some schools do it in a better way. They have different models. Each school do it differently. A school would have a daily notebook, this communication notebook between the parent and the teachers. Do you have something like this? Right? So in order to make the parents gradually paying attention to their children, right? Remember that every parent has many children, and you need to get the attention of the parent to your child, particularly if the student that you are teaching has some sort of weaknesses. Further than this, if you develop this 2-way communication, definitely this helps children. They found all research says that the parents who are involved in the learning of children do better. Their children do better than the children whose their parents are not involved in their learning. Another thing here, when you get the initial information about the parents and you know that she works in this field or he works in this field, so that means when you need them, you can arrange for this as you benefit from this. This is very good resource. That's what I was expecting you to say, that what are the resources that we didn't mention here. This is a very good resource that you can use. It's the education of the parents of the school. In some schools in America, yes, you get into a classroom and every day you will find a parent, yes, who works in any field, right, is coming to the class and he talks to the class in 5 or 10 minutes about a story or about his personal experience. So new experience is coming to your class for free and for very limited time. Please write this. Try to imagine that those students are being exposed to all these types of experiences, whether it's a summary of a story or a personal experience, a lot of enrichment to the students in your class. Now, I said what I have, and also you can use the parents when you organize something on the level of the class and you need some help, people to, or on the level of the school when you have a national function or a big camp. There is another benefit here is that you can even ask some of those parents to come and teach in times of need. I don't know, depending on the policy of your school, but this is an area where you can look into it and you can benefit from it. It's time for a break. We'll take a break and we'll come back. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Little baby breathing so calm. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your break. We were talking about how to involve parents in your class. One of the good ways, I will talk about it in details, inshallah, today, how to benefit from the parents is to make the parents being involved in evaluating you. So let me raise this question. How many times have you tried to get a feedback from parents about your teaching? And this is one of the things that we need to incorporate. When a parent would come to you and you say that I want you to visit my class on that day or any day, and please, when you come, I will ask you to give me feedback, and you have the form ready, right? And you give the form to her, and after the end of the lesson, and even don't write a place for the name, because some people are very sensitive to write their names, so there is no place for names here. Nobody knows who did this. But you want to get the feedback from them. It doesn't matter you get it from this father or this mother or this, but you want to get to hear from the parents what you're doing, because they look at you from a different perspective than if I visit you in a school. Then the principal looks at you. All of them would represent a different view. As exactly that's what you do sometimes with your students. We'll talk about this, inshallah, in evaluation. But this is the point that I want you to take the advantage that the parent is there, give him or give her a form, right? And she would evaluate you at the end of it.
Yes, I have a couple of points.
Yes, please.
First would be a comment on what you said, that in some schools in America, they have parents coming to class and explaining some concept or topic. I think it's very beneficial, especially if you have parents who are specialized in a particular field. For example, if you have a doctor, then you can have them come and explain when the students are studying anatomy. They can better explain it to the students.
I have seen a firefighter coming to them. Firefighter is coming, and the students were so excited with all the things that they were. The students wanted to spend the whole day with them. This is a wonderful experiential learning.
Yes.
Right. Now we're talking about experience that I have never, yes, when I was a child, I had a chance to see a firefighter talking about, with all these things, and he's introduced, this is called this, when we use this, when I use it, it's a wonderful experience. It's not just doctors and engineers and, no, even janitors, we can benefit from them in this. He would speak 5 minutes about his job and what are the difficulties that I find. The students are trying to go out from the doors, whatever. Any human being would have a special experience that they don't know about.
The other point is we can have the parents interact when we are correcting the papers so that they know how the evaluation is done, how we mark the students.
Wonderful, wonderful. I wish that you can write this. So one way of also, so we'd ask a parent if the parent is qualified to evaluate the sheet of the student. So they would know how would you evaluate the children, so they would be aware. So instead of sending you 20 complaints every year, now they are going to send you only 5 complaints or 2 complaints, right? Because you raised their level. Good. One comment here.
The parents don't know the teaching pattern, how we teach. So evaluate, how will it make them understand that part?
Yeah, I have a list of questions. Right. For example, the teacher uses different methods of teaching, right? I would say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 is the least, 5 is the highest, right? I explained it. And I have a list of these things, very easy, right? So it's not necessary that they would get you 100% accurate, right? But at least you would get the viewpoint of when we go to a school and we see that the teachers are being evaluated by parents, definitely this school is much better than the school that does not invite any parent to it. This is a higher level of engaging, right, the parents. Do you see the point? Definitely this school, try to imagine that a school that involves all parents. This is an amazing school. We found schools that, believe me, that the parents spend most of their time, because they don't work, right? They spend most of their time in the school cafeteria, and they make some activities. This is the second home. The school succeeded to convince the parents that this is their second home. They have their own rooms, they have their own places, so they come at any time. So when they come here, they spend time, and you have to use them. You see? This is something that we've never seen when we were in schools. I think that my father has never visited me in school. My mother did it 2 or 3 times. Only my father never, even he didn't know the place of my school. So, Allah yarhamu now. So, anyway, so this is one way. Please go ahead.
Some parents are good counselors.
Good.
Some parents are good counselors. So, normally even If I know that one of my son's classmate is not good in studies or he is into some weakness, so I counsel him.
Okay.
In the same way, other fathers can also do it if they are good counselors, experienced people. Secondly, some parents can even participate in educational excursions like we have in our school.
Yes, we've seen in many schools that the parents usually go with the students in a field trip, in a trip. It's very important because you need a lot of help. You cannot control the students by yourself, especially if you have young students. So this is where you can get the help of parents in field trips. Yes, and the kids would love to see their parents in class. Anything here?
A comment, rather, I would say a question that, nowadays, the parents, they are so busy. They hardly meet their children after school. So it is very difficult to get them in the school.
Yeah.
So, what can we plan, or how do you get the parents in the classroom or in the school?
Yeah, everybody is busy in this world. But I'm sure that you will find some parents who will come to you. Anywhere in the world, anywhere, we found that some parents come to you. It's not necessary that you can communicate. If you succeed to get 2 parents to your classroom, that's good. The rest of them, you can communicate with them by phone, right? But remember that the first impression has great impact on the parents. So when you design the first day, open day, right, it may have impact on the parents. And we succeed. Let's say that this year, this school A succeeded to encourage 30 parents to come to the school. If the following year we succeeded to get 35 or 50, right, that would be great. Also, the PTA, we have to activate the PTA, Parent Teacher Association. There should be something in the school, organization in the school that's called Parent Teacher Association. Some private schools are scared of this. In a society that people are not used to freedom, usually people are scared. I don't want them to talk about it, right?
Actually, even children themselves can pull in their parents. If you open the gate for even 2 of them, the others will trickle in slowly.
The children are stronger than you. Yeah, they can in fact affect their parents, right? You know, the kids know our weaknesses very well. I used to live in the 7th floor, and my kids were very smart. And so all the time, right, they are happy and talking in the car. And when we arrive to the house, that they pretend to be sleepy, right? So they want to be carried. Yeah? They know that we are weak enough to carry them. Yeah? We used to carry them, but we came to the point, okay, we'll leave you to sleep, to enjoy sleeping in the car, and we'll sleep upstairs. So they would run and come after. So they know our weaknesses, so they can take us to the place where they want to buy them the thing that they want. At the same time, they can bring their parents to the school. Some of them can do this. So take the advantage of this. Okay, please.
Another comment on the Parents Teachers Association.
Yeah.
Is that one more way of getting parents to the school?
Yes.
Is let the parents interact with each other in your supervision and let them share parenting tips as to how were they able to overcome some problem what their child
in
had.
Whatever format you want to put it. Yes, you can put it in different formats. Some people say that only for the teachers, and they share this with the principal. You can put teachers and parents together, let them discuss the issue of that. Some teachers give a lot of assignment to the students. We need an assignment to be done within 15 minutes or 20 minutes in every subject, or 10 minutes for every subject. We cannot expect our child to stay more than 2 hours at home writing the assignment, particularly if they are at this age or that thing. Also, some of them we need assignments to be a little bit challenging because they are so simple and we don't think that, hear from the parents what they said. This golden opportunity to see others giving you free feedback. They're giving you feedback. If you don't get this feedback, really your performance does not improve. But if you hear a lot of people are talking about you, now you have seen that when we have seen 3 or 4 presentations and each one of us is putting something here, you the presenters, do you think that you benefited something? If you're going to redo it, are you going to make some changes? Of course you do. Definitely. You got something for free. Right. Okay, what else? We have 1 more minute, so this would be the last comment.
I really like the idea which you said about parents involved in learning the child. The student does better when the parent is involved. And it's very important for the teacher to have a one-to-one conversation with the parent.
To have?
One-to-one conversation.
Yes.
With the parent.
Of course.
Wherein both of them are learning the child. The parent shares what the child is at home as the teacher speaks about the personality of the child in class.
Yes.
I'll just support this point with one example. One of my colleagues had shared an experience. There was a student in class who was a brilliant child in English language. Outstanding student in class, was doing really well. In the coming term, his grades had fallen. His interaction levels had gone down.
Why was that?
I am coming to that. And
Yes,
the teacher had noticed that personality.
I want to interact with you. So.
Yeah. The teacher had noticed that personality trait in the change.
Okay.
So on a discussion with the mother, she discussed this at home, and the mother said the child is absolutely fine at home. There is no other problem. There is no other reason, personal reason for which he should behave in this manner.
Okay.
She had a conversation with the child in detail, of which she got to know that the child was being bullied by other children in class of trying to behave too smart in front of the teacher. So then he wanted to be an introvert and not answer and not participate. So in this manner, both the teacher and the parent, alhamdulillah, help the child come out of that problem.
Yes.
And be the same individual the way he was. It's very important for us to understand.
And he became an outstanding student, right? So this raised the level or the bar in your class. This is wonderful discussion. Jazakumullahu khairan. Inshallah, we'll meet in a new episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.